Season 2, Episode 2, The Fatal Button, INTRO, Shadow Practice. Welcome to your shadow practice session. Today, we face the doctor. We face the uniform. Focus on the ST and TR blends.
Keep your pace steady.
Master the English of moral conflict. Let's begin. The script. If a man in a lab coat told you to hurt a stranger, would you do it? You say no. You say never. You believe you are independent. You believe you are moral. But in 1961, at Yale University, Stanley Milgram proved that conscience is no match for authority. This was the year of the Eichmann trial. Adolf Eichmann, the architect of the Holocaust. His defense was simple. I was just following orders. The world laughed. They called him a monster. But Milgram wondered, is there an Eichmann inside all of us? This is the story of the fatal button, a study that showed how ordinary people can become executioners for a certificate. This setup was a trap. There were 3 people in the room. The experimenter, the authority. The teacher, the subject,
you.
And the learner, the victim. The teacher and learner drew slips of paper to decide their roles. But it was rigged. The subject was always the teacher. The learner was an actor. The subject was told they were studying memory. But the real audit was on obedience. The learner was strapped into a chair with electrodes. The teacher was taken to another room and sat in front of a shock generator. It had 30 switches. It started at 15 volts, slight shock. It ended at 450 volts. Under the final switches, it said, XXX. Danger, severe shock. The rules were simple. You read a list of word pairs. If the learner makes a mistake, you flip a switch. And every time they fail, you increase the voltage. At 75 volts, the learner moans. At 120 volts, he shouts. At 150 volts, he screams, "Get me out of here. My heart is bothering me." This is the moment of conflict. The teacher looks at the experimenter. They say, "Should I stop?" The experimenter, wearing his gray lab coat, says no. He uses 4 probes. Please continue. The experiment requires that you continue. It is absolutely essential that you continue. You have no other choice. You must go on. The teacher is sweating. They are stuttering. They are trembling. They are digging their fingernails into their palms.
They are not evil people.
They are suffering. They see the pain they are causing. They hear the screams turning into silence at 300 volts. But they continue.
Why?
Because the authority has taken the responsibility. The experimenter tells them, "I am responsible for anything that happens." And with those words, the moral burden is lifted. The teacher becomes a tool, an agent. Before the study, Milgram asked psychiatrists to predict the results. They said that only 1% of people, the sadists, would go to the end. They were wrong. In the first study, 65% of subjects went all the way to 450 volts. They shocked a man until he went silent. They shocked a man who complained of a heart condition. They did it because a man in a lab coat told them it was essential. The audit of the Milgram shock is a mirror. It shows that obedience is a primal instinct. We are programmed to follow titles. We follow diplomas. We follow badges. We don't look at the action. We look at the authorizer. Milgram found that proximity changed the results. If the teacher was in the same room as the learner, obedience dropped. If the experimenter gave orders over the phone, obedience dropped. This is the noir lesson for the modern world. The further we are from our victims, the easier it is to shock them. Look at the world today. Look at drone warfare. A pilot in Nevada flips a switch, and a village thousands of miles away explodes. They don't hear the screams. They don't see the blood. It is just data on a screen. It is the Milgram experiment with a satellite link. Look at corporate layoffs. An executive in a glass office signs a document. Thousands of families lose their homes. To the executive, it is just optimization. It is the system. They are just following the board's orders. Look at internet shaming. We attack strangers on social media. We destroy their reputations with a click. We feel justified because the group or the platform encourages us. We are pushing the button because the algorithm told us to engage. Milgram's ghost is in every bureaucracy. He showed us that evil doesn't need hate. It only needs efficiency. It needs people who do their job without questioning the outcome. The experimenter is no longer in a lab coat. The experimenter is a politician, a CEO, a news anchor, an influencer. They use the probes. It is essential for the economy. It is required for national security. You have no other choice. The shock generator is modern life. We are all wired into it. We are all teachers. And we are all learners. The question is, when the screaming starts, will you look at the man or will you look at the switch? The authority only has power if you grant it. The button only fires if you press it. The lab is closing. The volts are 0. But the order is still echoing. Stay sharp. Obedience is easy. Conscience is hard. Don't be a tool for a script you didn't write.